I started off by just making a Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
and just to let people know that I was starting it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's things like contacting the OPP for safe routes,
Mm-hmm.
getting sponsors all lined up in an order.
Mm-hmm.
But Facebook's been a big help that I've been able to reach his friends that he had as well as my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then people can pass the information along to each other.
Mm-hmm.
The Sudbury Manitoulin and Children's Foundation,
Mhm.
they've been doing press releases, so they got in touch with Northern Life,
Mm-hmm.
different radio stations. So they've been a big help because they do the work that I can't.
Who set up the trust fund?
It was my parents that set it up,
Mhm.
so it was shortly after he died.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to do something to help others. So
Mhm.
through his memory, he loved camping, and what better to do than to send kids to camp.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very outdoors person, so he loved camping and fishing, hiking, snowboarding, pretty much all the stuff that I don't like. But he really liked to be out camping and fishing for sure. So he really liked going to Killarney and Manitoulin Island, and those were his go-to places.
From the fund, who benefits basically?
It's the Sudbury Manitoulin Children's Foundation and the Send a Kid to Camp Fund.
Mm-hmm.
So it's through the Taylor Ferguson Memorial Trust Fund,
Mm-hmm.
and it's deserving kids who don't have the money to go to a summer camp.
Mhm.
They send them to a summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I wanted to do something big to raise money. We have a trust fund set up in his name, and I wanted to do something big to raise money to help send kids to camp. So what I wanted to do was originally raise $1,000, getting donations of $2 for every kilometer that I would ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea it would get as big as it has now. It's absolutely exploded.
Mm-hmm.
I have different businesses and different individuals who have made contributions. Like the Sudbury Lions Club has made a contribution to the ride. I have Adrian at Pinnacle Sports. He has donation jars set up, as well as Tony Comito at Sears. He has donation jars set up at all the cash registers there as well. And at Mara Travel, there's also a donation jar set up there. I'm starting off, day one is in Sudbury. It will be starting at 8:30 a.m. at 2nd Avenue, on the
8:30
Adamsdale
a.m.
Playground, 2nd Avenue. And that's going to be 75 kilometers within the city alone.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be going out to Coniston, along into Garson, out towards the airport, Radar Road, that area. Anyone who wants to come out is welcome to join. If they feel like breaking off and going home at any time, they can go ahead. But that'll be the first leg in the city. Then I'm getting in a car, driving to Manitoulin Island, and sleeping in Little Current, getting up the next morning on Sunday the 26th, and I'm doing a full loop of the entire island. So that's 188 kilometers. From Little Current, headed west towards Gore Bay, all the way down South Bay Mouth, and then back up Highway 6. Go to bed, hopefully early that day. Get back up the next morning on Monday the 27th, same loop again, so another 188 kilometers. Immediately when I'm done that, I'm getting into a car, headed back to Sudbury, hopefully getting a good night's sleep. And up again I get the next morning, I'm biking out to Lively, and then back to where he is at the 2nd Avenue Cemetery. So I should be getting back there at about 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday. The long distances aren't going to be, hopefully they shouldn't be too much of an issue. But yeah, I've liked cycling, so I wanted to do something big, and the biggest thing I could think of was a long ride. He was on a camping trip with some friends. Just a little while after he turned 20, he was out in the boat, and it apparently hit ground or hit some rocks, and he ended up falling out of the boat and drowning.
How did you hear? How did you hear? Where were you when it happened?
I was the first one to hear about it, actually. We were sitting down eating dinner, and I picked up the phone, and it was an OPP officer, and he said, "Is Paul Ferguson there?" And that's my uncle. That's not my dad's name. And I said, "No, you must have the wrong number." He said, "Well, I'm calling for either Paul or Peter." I said, "It's my dad. Would you like to talk to him?" He said, "Yes, we're with the OPP." So immediately, right then and there, I didn't know what happened, but I knew it was something bad at that point.
Yeah. What was it like losing him? What was it like?
That was like the hardest thing I've ever gone through before. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Hopefully never have to again, but I'm the kind of person that you just keep on living. So you do what you can to honor his memory, and that's why I'm doing the ride.
Yeah.
But you can never have anything taken away that you once had. So I'm very fortunate that I was able to have a brother for 18 years, that I could have been an only child my whole life. So there's always a positive to everything.
When you lose someone close to you, how does it change?
You take every moment that you have you're grateful for everything, that you never take anything for granted anymore.
Okay.
That you realize that who's here today could not be here tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and to make sure that that you're always showing that you care about everyone.